Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm ACated and this is Minecraft. In today's video, we are going to be building a medieval blacksmith shop. And this is pretty cool because I've been wanting to do more medieval builds, and something fun about this video is that we're trying something a little bit new. So today I am trying to do a sort of like a build guide, not a tutorial per se, but it is a build guide. So what I mean by that is that I'm not going to tell you exactly how to build everything. I'm not going to say place this block here, place this amount of blocks here, you'll need this amount of blocks for the build. I'm not going to really do that. Instead, I'm going to sort of just explain my reasoning for everything, and then also kind of explain different ways to build. And essentially the whole point of this video is to help you build a medieval blacksmith in your own way and not my way. I want you to build your own thing, not my thing. So hopefully you're interested in that. This is something new that I've never done before, so hopefully it goes well. Let me know in the comments what you think. I will still be tweaking it, of course, so if there's ever any issues, anything you want to see, just let me know. Hopefully this will be fun. In the last video, I built this fun little Old West, Wild West kind of train station, and I really like how it turned out. It's very nice and rustic. It's very cozy. I really like it. It almost broke my world. That's okay though. It didn't break my world, so we're doing good on that front. This is the train I built. I'm really proud of it. It looks really cool. I used all these different create blocks. Don't ask me what they all do. I'm not sure. I'm not messing with that yet. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and now it's time to build the blacksmith shop. So today we're going to be building in just vanilla. So this is just the grass block here. We're not using Farmer's Delight or Create. So that'll be fun. A little base game challenge. If you're into Sims, anyways. So this chest here is full of like sort of our starting ingredients, I guess, our starting materials. So mostly we'll be using stripped spruce logs for like the timber frame. We'll use a mix of calcite and diorite for these sort of plaster. We'll be using these mix of stone bricks and stone for the base, and then we'll also be using cobblestone and tuff for the floor and roof respectively. And also, I think we will also use spruce planks for the floor upstairs and some other things as well. So just like as a little lesson here. So medieval buildings were typically built using a wooden frame like this, made of timber. I'm using spruce wood, stripped spruce logs, I guess. I'm using that because it gives it a nice little aged look. Even though you don't use spruce for everything technically, it does look more like aged wood than like stripped oak, which looks more like it's new. Like it looks like it's brand new, basically. Like this is what it would look like if you literally just built, like you just cut the wood, you just built everything. This is what it would look like. And of course, I think you can use this in a medieval build. There's definitely occasions you can, but right now I'm using spruce. You can use whatever wood you want though. I also recommend dark oak. That's also fun to use. And then right now for the foundations, actually we should put this all on a foundation. The reason we put this all on a foundation is because in a normal medieval house or building, you would normally want to raise the wood so it's not touching the ground, which would avoid moisture and bugs and rot and all that stuff. So it essentially protects the wood, makes the building last longer. And in addition to that, also I might use cobblestone instead, just because it's more simple. Plus we're using that for the floor, so it makes sense. In the little infill, here I kind of put it on the inside more, but here I'm just going to put it on the outside because I'm just trying to save space. So you will put down stone. I put down stone for the foundations of the building because it's a much more of a sturdy material, and plus because this is a blacksmith shop, we won't want things that are more flammable, like not that plaster's that flammable, but wattle and daub is probably flammable. So we probably don't want to use that for where our forge is going to be, where we're going to be handling a lot of hot metals and stuff. Probably not the best idea. So both, this is a sturdy material and it is good because it's not flammable. Now for the upstairs, I tend to do something like this and create another frame. So for the upstairs, I'm just showcasing this plaster. So this calcite mixed with diorite is meant to sort of allude to the use of plaster and wattle and daub for the infills of these timber framed buildings. Plaster was very readily used. They could come in any sorts of colors. I like using calcite, but you can also use a lot of other materials, probably like packed mud. You can probably use, that makes sense. You can even use mud bricks maybe for the foundations too. You can use mud bricks. You can use terracotta. Terracotta is very good. It's very similar to plaster, especially like the lighter colors I would especially use. Other materials too, maybe just straight up diorite. Maybe you can use concrete. You can maybe get away with that. Concrete is already kind of like a plaster, so that makes sense. But this is what I like to use here, so that's what we're going to use. And the reason that they use plaster and wattle and daub was just because it's just like a readily available resource. So that's usually for very inexpensive buildings, buildings that need to be built quickly, usually for the working class. Otherwise, it would have been built out of stone. There's lots of stone buildings, of course, like castles and cathedrals and all that stuff built in the medieval times. But these are like the normal everyday houses and cities and stuff were made out of these sort of materials. For the roof, I'm using tuff because it's supposed to be sort of like shingles. This is supposed to represent shingles. I use tuff there as well. It's a very nice looking block that complements this well. You can use a lot of other things too. You can use wood, like spruce wood or dark oak wood. That's a very good roof material. You can use other different types of stone, like black stone, deep slate. Deep slate tiles are very good. I really like them for medieval builds as well. You can also use probably hay bales if you really want to do like a sort of thatched roof kind of thing. I'm not sure how difficult that is. That might be kind of hard to do. So you could do that with your own discretion. I'm not going to attempt it here. If you'd like to see me attempt it, I guess we can work something out. You can say something in the comments. But for now, this is what we're gonna do. But yeah, this is essentially my idea for the medieval builds. It's not brand new, like everyone does this, but it's always nice to know why things look the way they do. So here I'm just sort of mimicking real styles and reasons why they would build something, so then it makes sense. Because it wouldn't make sense if like the bottom floor was made of wood and had lots of ornate things, because this is not meant to be ornate. This is meant to be essentially the medieval version of like a factory or something. Like this is a workshop. This is where someone works. It's basically an industrial building. So it's not meant to be pretty. It's meant to be functional, and I'm trying to sort of recreate that functionality. So yeah, but this is just an example of the medieval building style I'm going for. You can always recreate this in different ways. Like as an example, this building here, it recreates this sort of medieval style in a completely different way, and it still looks like a medieval building. So I encourage you to find your own ways, experiment, maybe look at pictures of medieval buildings, maybe do a little research on what they look like, why they look like they do, what materials were used, all that stuff, to sort of come up with your own style. But this is how I'm building it today, and this is how I will continue. Alright, so to start off, the base here, I think we'll do something like this. We will make a pretty good size build. I'm not trying to make it huge like this one. This one's a little big. I'm just trying to make this one a little bit smaller, a little bit more player size, I think. Maybe villager size even, that scale. But let's see. So we'll do something like this, maybe 2 blocks, and then 2 blocks, and then 2 blocks. So that's 6 blocks of the interior. I think that's a good size. We're not going to do like we're not going to space out the timber things. We're not going to space out the frame too much, like make it so even, but also I will make it a little even like this. So I think we will go in increments of 3 here. So we can do 1, 2, 3, then cobblestone, 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess, 1, 2, 3, then another timber, and that's it. I think that's good. And then let's do that again. And that seems pretty good. So this is the ground floor, of course, and I think it would make sense if we have a little part of the building jutting out here. So maybe we add something more like this, or even let's make it a step down. I think that might be interesting to do. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the reason this is a step down, because this is more of like a loading area. So it'll be both a storage and a loading area. So you'd want to be closer to the street, so then you could more easily get things off of your carts and your carriages and whatever else. And also the storage area is here because you can easily take things from a cart, from a horse, and then you could store it into the structure here, and then you can go inside here and you can start using it. So I think that's a good way to organize the workflow of this space. And of course, because this is the ground floor, we're going to be using stone again for the material. It makes sense, of course, because it is a sturdy material. You can also use brick or something, and you can even use wattle and daub for the ground floor. That's completely fine. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. I just prefer to use like a different material. One, it gives it more visual diversity. It makes the building look a lot more lively and different. And then also, I think it's fun because it makes more sense. But of course, there were buildings that had wattle and daub first floors, so I think it's perfectly fine. Alright, so we have filled in the timber frame with some stone. I actually decided to add in some cracked bricks. I think that would be fun to add in, give it a little bit more visual variety. And in here, we have a little step down here that goes into the storage area. And of course, we have this doorway here. So the reason we have this doorway is so then you could easily wheel in a cart in here. You can easily offload things. So that's why this is down a step, because otherwise you'd have to step up and offload everything. And you couldn't wheel a cart into here, which would be very inconvenient, very difficult, because you'd have to go up the step. So yeah, that's why this is down more, and this is elevated. Also, I think this building, or this part of the building, is less important. It's just like a storage area, so it doesn't need, it's not like as important as the forge in the workshop area, so it's okay if it's down on the ground and not as sturdy. Actually, I think that we could probably widen this a tiny bit, so then we can easily get carts into here. Maybe I'll make a gate here instead of like doors, but we'll see. Otherwise, I think we could start on the next floor, so we will do that. Alright, here's the second floor. It is a plaster / wattle and daub kind of building, and we'll also add in the diorite for visual variation and stuff. But yeah, this is the second floor. This is where the residence will be, because usually in the medieval times, the blacksmith and other people working in different industries, they will always work and live in the same building. So they'll usually have their residence either attached to it or on top, and then after that they would have their workshop down at the bottom, as well as like their business. So this is both a workshop and a business, because the workshop will be in the back, and then there will be a counter up front, so then the blacksmith can sell his goods and also take orders and stuff. So that's fun. And then this little storage area, of course, to get all the resources you need. And of course up here, the residence. So if you really wanted to, you could, I guess, live up here if you want. But I will be making a residence here for our blacksmith, and also making our roof. And for the windows, I would normally do glass, either that or fences. I'm going to use fences, but you can use whatever you want. Over there, I use trapdoors apparently, and while that's cool, I think I want to use the fences for this building. So I will use fences for this. You can use glass if you want, that's also historically accurate, although Minecraft doesn't have like really leaded glass like they used to have, like really thick panes of glass with all like the ornate details, or just like leaded panes of glass. So that's not entirely realistic, but it's okay. It's not meant to be realistic. It's just like an impression of something. It's okay if it's not completely realistic. It's just fun to think about where these things come from. About now, we can now do the roof. So for the roof, of course, I'm going to be using tough bricks. Over there, I tried to do some texturing, and while it looks cool, I don't think it's quite necessary, so instead I'm just going to use straight up tough bricks. And instead of doing that, I can just use Axiom to sort of just extend it out. So I will do that. And actually, I will use this sort of just to make it easier on me, because I will be using spruce on the inside. Sort of to give the impression of a like wooden rafters, because it's not actually like that, but it's just to give the impression of that there's like a wooden support structure on the inside. And let's use Axiom to extend that out. And again. Perfect. All right. And of course, because this is the front, we're going to do something like this. We're going to extend this out by 1 block, as I would typically do. And on the inside, I'm going to fill that in with calcite again, because this gives the impression of more plaster being used. I'm not going to put this, I'm not going to put a frame on the inside just because I can't. It's an even number, so I can't put like a timber frame to look like it's supporting it, but that's okay. We can always pretend. And on the other side, I think I'm just going to copy this, and I will do that. Alright, here is the finished roof line, and I also finished this roof over here. So over here, I kind of just did a simple little roof shape here. I didn't even fill it in with anything just because it's so small, so I just used tuff on the inside. And then I have this little overhang here, and I think this is fun because it provides like a little shelter, but it also provides a little shelter so you can store things under here and not worry about things like rain or weathering to get under it. And to damage your goods. So you can store things outside as well and store things on the inside, and I think that's quite fun. And up here we still have our forge, and maybe I'm thinking of perhaps having like a little side yard or something, so then you can have stairs that go up to the apartment over here, just because I don't know if it's the best idea to have stairs inside the forge, inside the workshop. It might be fine, but I feel like we could do something a little different. Maybe in the back as well. Maybe in the back we could do that. Because I'd also imagine maybe if this is a residence, maybe they might have like a little garden or something to grow crops, grow vegetables and stuff to supplement their food. I'm pretty sure that was something that they did back then, although I don't remember reading anything about that specifically, so take that with a grain of salt. But I think we could do something like that. I think that might be fun. Now, I think it's about time that we do some detailing outside here. So I'm going to do some detailing just for giving the impression of certain architectural details. So for this, I'm thinking these are kind of like supports. So they're like supporting the roof here. And just to give this a little bit of the impression that the upper floor is jutting out a bit, because that was something common back then. I'm going to be providing some more 3D details here, something kind of like this, and I think here I might be adding something, maybe a window if we have room for it, but I'm not sure. And here I think we could have some fun and use a shelf block for the sort of, I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be, but I think it looks cool, so we're going to keep it in. And then here, we could probably also use a shelf block, or maybe we can use a trapdoor. Oops. Alright, maybe we can use a trapdoor, something like this, although we can't use it there. And maybe the top we use a shelf block, maybe? Maybe not. See, the detailing things are one where I'm not sure about. It's just like, it looks kind of weird, and I'm not sure what to do about it. We can do something like this, maybe? Could that look good? Doesn't look bad, so we could go with something like that. And here, I guess we could use another trapdoor. Although, because this is like kind of clipping into the roof, I'm thinking we don't put a window here and instead just like fill it in. I think that could be fine. And I think this is pretty good. I can do it on the other side as well. And we could see what else we could try to do for the exterior before we start on the interior. So we could do that again. I'm thinking these could be like little awnings or something. Some sort of, just like the impression that this is like some sort of architectural detail, because I don't tend to like doing a lot of simplistic things. I tend to like decorating, and that tends to lead to over decorating, and that's not always the best thing to do. I think that's pretty cool. I think it would be cool if we could like do shutters, but shutters are kind of hard to do unless you have like a really big build. Here it's kind of hard because then it'll just cover the sides here and it won't look really good. So maybe not the best idea. Also, I think I'm going to add more calcite here. I think that's fine. I like calcite too because calcite, like, it makes sense because it's like a lime. Calcite's made of like lime, and there's like such thing as lime plaster, so it already feels like a plaster. So I think that's quite fun. I wish we had limestone in Minecraft though. We do have limestone in the create mod, but we don't have it in normal Minecraft. And I quite like using limestone in my builds, so sad I can't use it in vanilla, but it's okay. Oh, also let's fill in the doors here. And blacksmiths usually have these wide doors here, again for the whole carriages and stuff. Maybe we could fill it in here as well. Let's pretend this is like a larger door by using these trapdoors here, and let's fill that in. Yeah, I think let's pretend this is a larger door. I feel like that looks a bit weird. Maybe we just do the double doors. Maybe that's fine. And fill this back up. Yeah, maybe we just do that, and then we have gates here to make it feel a little bit wider. And should we have a window here? I don't know. Oh, let's fill that in as well. So yeah, this will be the storage. Oh, and then also the roof. Let's fill that in as well. Yeah, this will be the storage area. We'll have lots of crates and stuff and boxes, and then over here is a workshop and like the business right here, and of course the residence up top. One important thing we should have though is a like a chimney for the forge. That's very important. That's actually the most defining feature of a medieval blacksmith shop, which is, they're called smithies, but I think that name's kind of weird. But yeah, technically, that's one of the most defining features of a smithy. So I'm thinking we could probably have it like right here, maybe. I don't know if this wood board timber would be best to have here. Because typically you wouldn't want to have things that are flammable near the forge for obvious reasons, because it's an open flame. So probably not. That's why the floor here will be cobblestone and not wood. If it were wood, everything would catch on fire, and that would not be great. That would be really bad. So we're not doing that. But yeah, the forge is the most important thing of the blacksmith. It is literally the defining feature of it. Otherwise, if you don't have a forge, you don't have a blacksmith, and you don't have anything that works with metal. You don't have any tools or weapons, or just like you don't have anything. So yeah, the forge is the most important part. So the chimney will be a big part of this, and probably the most like prominent feature here. Okay, I did a little more detailing, and by a little I mean a lot. So what I did, I added more fences and stuff to make it feel more like a wooden structure. I also added, or I guess I not added, but I changed the stairs to be, or actually I should get rid of this, I don't want this. I changed the stairs that were up here, and I changed them to be these cute little awning things. I'm not sure what they are, but I think they look cool, so we're gonna add them in. And I don't know, did I use them in there? I don't think I used them there. Wait, no, I did use them there. Yeah, they're right there. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, I started using that a little bit ago, and I think they look cool, so we're using them here. Here, that's fine. Here, this looks a little weird, so we're just gonna do that. And I think that's perfectly fine. Pretty cool. So hopefully it looks good. I think it looks good. Hopefully you think it looks good, but yeah, I'm hoping it's not too overly decorated. I think it's fine. I think it's not too much, but hopefully it's fine. Hopefully it's not like oh, it hurts my eyes. It's just like so overly built. I don't know. I think it looks good. It like gives the impression of a structure, so that's pretty good. Anyways, I think now it's about time we start working on the forge. Okay, so for the forge, I'm thinking we can do some sort of brick structure like this. Maybe we can do something like that, and probably do something like that maybe, and do something like that. So then it implies like a chimney, or maybe we do more like that, because it should be a very thick, very large, thick chimney. We could do maybe jutting out a little bit like this, although that might be a little much. That might be too big. So we'll see. We can have our campfires there, and we can have our furnaces above it. And then we could maybe do something like that. And what else can we do? Maybe we can have these, or we can't have them. Maybe we can do that, and then let's see what happens if we put them out. How does that look? I'm not sure. That's pretty interesting. Although, what if we do that? I think that looks better. That looks pretty cool. Perhaps we could do something a little less like that. Maybe do something like this. And then like add a little brick thing around it. I think this looks sufficient enough. I think this should work. And also maybe we also extend this brick out a little bit more. And we can have our anvil here right next to it. And the reason we have an anvil is because we want to have it, like, we want to have it right next to the forge, because the reason you have the forge is so you can heat up your metal. And if you have to walk all the way across the room to do that, that's more dangerous, and also it'll have the metal cool down, so it's just less practical. So it's very practical just to have the anvil right next to the forge, so you can heat up your materials and then straight to the anvil. So that's good. And then also right next to it, we need a cauldron of water, because after you're done shaping your metals and stuff and doing all that stuff, what are you going to do? You need to put it into the water so then it cools down, it hardens. So that's why we have this all here. You're not necessarily using all this. You'll probably just use the furnaces, of course, to smelt things, and then use the anvil to, I guess, repair things, really, because you use a crafting table to make things. So we will have a crafting table in here, of course. You always have to have a crafting table. But this is the anvil, the little anvil setup. I think it looks pretty cool. And along with that, we should also have, maybe I could actually just remove this, make this, I think that's fine. Maybe we don't even need that. Maybe we just use brick. Okay, I think that's good. This smaller forge here, and we have our anvil, cauldron, crafting table, and then we can also have a workbench, because a lot of times you're not going to be needing a anvil for most things. You might just need a workbench to sort of like assemble parts, to play around with things, to repair things. So we have a workbench here, we have our crafting table, we have like a little desk area, and then in addition to that, I'm thinking we could have some crates, or not crates, sorry, barrels. We can have barrels, and maybe some more furnaces, just because realistically you'll need more furnaces in this. We can have our blast furnaces here, and then we can have some barrels lined up right there. Maybe tall, maybe like 3 blocks tall is good. Our blast furnaces, and also we will need our smithing table and our grindstone, because they should help with different things. So maybe we have our grindstone up here. You can reach that up there, and then we have a smithing table right about here. And then I'm also thinking we have a little counter here, something like this. So then we can have customers and we can take orders and stuff, so we can do that. And then also we can have a little fence here or something, just to like differentiate the room. And I'm thinking we can have like a chest, and then maybe like a little shelf to keep all our items and like keep them on display. And just walk in here, and we should also have a barrel here, just for the sake of having a barrel. And in addition to this, we will probably also need some more storage items, so we can have maybe a chest here as well. That might be useful. And in addition to the chest, we can have something like this. And let's say we can keep iron in here. Let's keep some raw iron. And also, we also need to keep some coal somewhere, so maybe we keep some coal right here, right next to the forge, so we can use some of it. You wouldn't use coal though in a medieval blacksmith. You would usually use, let's do that. You'd usually use charcoal. Maybe this? I don't know. Maybe this looks better. You'd usually use charcoal for this, but this is this is Minecraft, we don't have a block of charcoal, we have a block of coal, so I think it makes more sense to just use that, but usually you'd use charcoal. Actually, I think I'll move those, and in here instead we could have something like that, and maybe the smithing table should move. So maybe we move this up here, move this, and maybe have this like that, and here we can just put like a little slab, something like that. I think that could work. Here we could keep like some of our tools that we need to use, maybe something like that. We need like that tall though. I don't think that needs to be that tall. So we can use some of our tools here. So I think we'd probably use a bucket because we need to do water, and we don't have like a hammer or something, but we can just use some various tools for that. So let's put that in. Maybe you can like do a little mix. I think that's fine. And to light the fire, you might need a flint and steel. What else do we need? Not sure. What do we need? We can use shears. We can pretend those are like tongs or something. So we have shears. So we have like our little thing of tools here. And in addition to that, we could maybe have some shelves. And in the shelves, we could have like some chests or something. So we could do stuff like that. That might be good. Maybe let's keep like a spare grindstone up here just for fun. Oops. Yeah, just keep like a spare grindstone here. And what else can we put up here? Maybe also move the grindstone. Where should it go? Maybe here? I think there's fine. Or maybe we put it like right here. I think that's good. That's pretty good. And up here we could also put, let's see, what else? Put a lantern there. I think that's good. Lantern is pretty good. And we'll also need to put some lanterns down here, so maybe we'll put one down here. And what else should we put here? Maybe like a pot. Let's put like something like a spruce sapling. Okay. And is that it? What else can we put here? Let's just put down some candles. For fun, just for fun. Actually, I think it would make more sense if we put the candles here for the lighting and then move this over here. So I think that's pretty good. I want to place down some chains here, so let's like put down some chains for some lighting. But then also, actually let's put that to the side more like that. But then also maybe so just some stray chains that are hanging down just for the sake of them. Maybe they can be used for something. I'm not sure if this is entirely historically accurate, but I think it's cool. So we're gonna put these down. All right, so for the storage, we're gonna do something similar. So we're gonna have some shelving at the top, but also have some chests and some barrels around. And I'm thinking maybe we also have some of these troughs here. So I think we could have like a water source here, which I recommend putting a water source somewhere. So something like this, something simple. This looks very medievally, but also is a water source. So if you go into the middle here, of course, if you want, you can grab some water and you have your water bucket. So yeah, I think this is a really cool way to do like a little water source in like any medieval build. But yeah, I think it's always important to have some water sources around. I like putting those in my builds. And then in addition to that, we can have some chests, maybe something like this stacked up here. And then we can have some barrels. Maybe some more barrels right here, like stacked right there. And then also we could have like a little thing of iron or something, or maybe where do we put that? Maybe here? I think here's fine, it's fine. And then of course we can do like the shelf thing, so we can have our shelves like this, put some chests up here, maybe a barrel as well. Maybe we put a barrel right here as well. Okay. All right, out here, we're gonna put some logs out here, and the reason we're putting logs is because blacksmiths would typically need logs, so then they can make them into charcoal, so they'd keep wood around for the sake of that. And we're gonna do a fun little trick. We're going to, not this. we're going to be using the rails to have it sort of be tied down. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Maybe extend it out by one. That's fine. Let's have a little thing here, like a little crate of something. Maybe some iron, maybe some more iron, maybe some ore actually, maybe some ore might be fun. We can do like iron ore. Okay. And also I want to have a big thing of coal here, so maybe like do something like this, maybe even bigger than that. Maybe it's just like a pile, maybe instead of a box, it's just like a pile of coal. I think that makes more sense, maybe. We can also have more barrels here, just for some outdoor storage, of course. And maybe we just put, I don't know if I like this, maybe let's just put some barrels here. So of course, these places weren't always like the most maintained, so I'm gonna have some like different forms of weathering and things that are like beaten down, like this gravel here. It's not gonna be perfect gravel. We'll have like various different imperfections here, like the packed mud, also here as well. It's not very neat, but I think that's quite fun to do that. And we can also add some grass in here because they won't mind if it's a little overgrown, so they probably won't really do anything about it. Alright, I think that's adding a lot to the atmosphere. Of course, the defining feature of the forge and the blacksmith is of course the chimney, so let's make that right now. Getting rid of that window, I suppose. And let's do that. So this will kind of stick out here. Maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blocks tall is good, and then we can use some walls to sort of taper it out. Alright, I think that's pretty good. And then let's add the campfires so we can actually have smoke, which we're just going to hide it a little bit. Hopefully no one will notice. This is what I typically do. I might do something like this right behind it, and just keep it there. So I'll do like the campfire and then the chimney, and then just like hide the campfires behind it a little bit so it looks like it's coming out of the top of the chimney, but it's really not. But if you have like a better solution, please be sure to tell me, because it doesn't look the best in my opinion, so I'd rather have something that looks like it's coming right out of the chimney. So I don't know how to do that. If someone has figured that out, please tell me, because I don't know. Alright, I feel like the exterior looks pretty good. This feels like a blacksmith. Let's get rid of this. This feels like a blacksmith, and it's quite exciting, so I think it's now time to work on the residence. But first, let's take a look at the inside just to make sure we didn't miss anything. So you walk in, you have your little shop area. Let's fill this in with tools later. Have a little shop area, and you can go order your things or ask the blacksmith to make you something, and then the blacksmith will be back here. They will come in and I guess greet you and sell their wares, and then they will go back here. They have their little workshop and they can all work and have their little tools here and have like your iron and your coal and all that stuff. So I think that's quite fun. It's really cool. I think this looks pretty good. And then back here we have our storage, just where you can keep all of your really important things. You keep iron, you keep your coal, charcoal, keep all your tools and your sticks and whatever else you need. And then of course over here is where the cart will come. You can get your items delivered to you, take all the orders and stuff. So I think that's good. I think that's quite fun. I think this is quite functional now, quite practical, of course, both in the sense of being a medieval blacksmith and also just being a like a smithing area for your Minecraft world. And I think now we could work on the upstairs. So let's have the stairs at the side of the building, and I think what we're gonna do is, I don't know if this is gonna hit. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So we'll have the stairs be made of stone. I think we will probably just get rid of this window here. And okay, get rid of the window here and have the stairs sort of jut out here. I think that's fair to do. Actually, then we should make them out of stone bricks, because I feel like that would make more sense. Make them out of stone bricks. Yeah, that's fine. them out of stone as well. Cool. And this will... Where should the door be? I don't know. I feel like the door then should be right here, so that means we have to move that. I think that should be a good... That should be like a good workaround. And we could make this like this. Also, because of that, we do have like a little bit more room for the blacksmith to play around with, so maybe we can modify that. And I'm just not going to put railing here because I don't want to. And then here's the door, front door to the house. Quite fun. Yeah, okay. So we will do something like that. And we have our house here, so we have our little residence. And we will need a... Oops. Oh yeah, that's not one block. We will need like a little living area, and then we might need like a kitchen or something. So it probably won't be like too many rooms, because medieval residences usually weren't too many rooms. Usually they were all one room. I guess you were lucky if you could afford 2 rooms, but usually it's just one room, one big room where everyone lives and works and does other things. So I think here, since we already have a chimney here, we can put the hearth or whatever we use to cook. Typically you wouldn't want to do that, but we're going to pretend that they have 2 separate channels going through there. So usually a chimney will just be like one big shaft where all the smoke comes out of. But here we're going to pretend there's 2 different shafts, and one of them is for the forge down below, and then one of them's for the hearth here, like the cooking area. So we can do that. I'm thinking we could use a smoker or something. Something like this, and then put a brick here, and then maybe like a trapdoor. Something like this. Actually, let's put a campfire here instead. I feel like this just looks like a hearth, but it's not. It's not supposed to be a hearth, but it just looks like one. And we're just gonna pretend that's not a problem there. That there's wood here. Yeah, let's just pretend that's not a problem, because I don't want to deal with that. In Minecraft, it's not a problem, so it should be fine. Anyways, I think we're just gonna treat this like one giant big house. So let's do like a bed. Usually like a white bed, maybe like a gray bed, because that's gray with a not an E. Light gray bed here, light gray bed here. Maybe we can do like a larger bed over here. So maybe this is like the children or something. I'm not sure how medieval families work. That implies that I don't think that medieval families have children. I know they have children, I just don't know how many, or like how they would live together. Let's put like a little lamp here, and then they can do something like this, and we can do like a pot just for like some flowers or something. I'm sure they want something nice, so we can do like little tulips maybe. And I'm also thinking we have like a wardrobe or like a storage thing here. We can put like a shelves here, some trapdoors. This is annoying. Maybe just something like that. And like a slab up here, so we can have a little like a wardrobe storage shelf thing. I think that's cool. And maybe another like a chest or something. And we can have some shelves, of course, so we can do something like this and have another chest there. What else would they need? They might need like, oh, they might need like a basin or something, like a wash basin. So we can do like that. Cauldron there. Maybe like a table so that they can prepare things. So we can use this shelf. I think this is quite nice. It's quite fun. I would live here. This is nice. Or not really. I wouldn't like live here, but I would live here in Minecraft. This is like cute. Of course, I think they might need a crafting table because every Minecrafter needs a crafting table. So maybe put this in the corner right there. I think that's fine. Maybe we actually could put it like right here. And also, because this is like Minecraft, of course, we'll probably want to add a furnace or something somewhere. So maybe we put the furnaces right here and then put the smokers on top. I think that could work. And so maybe we can like do something like that. Cool. I usually like to also do like a little heating unit, but I think we just don't do that here because we already have the hearth. I don't think it's necessary. But I think this little area is nice. I think this is a nice little living area, and I think it's sufficient. Maybe actually we can like do that. That's fun. And then candles. Let's add some candles, of course, because I feel like they would usually use candles. Let's use different colors as well. Maybe like use a yellow candle. That might be fun. And then maybe like a chair here, so we can put a simple little chair, put like a sign, simple little chair here, just for like a little desk. You might need a desk for something. Alright, I think this is nice. This is pretty cool. I think this is a cute little residence for your little blacksmith shop. And I think we could actually just put some windows right there. So cute little windows up here. Nice, I like this. And we can just go down here. Maybe we can put like a little torch there. And then just head to work. I think that's cute. I like this. And let's also add some torches just like to the sides, just for lighting. Just for some simple lighting purposes. Because this is kind of extended out, I feel like we could use this as like a little more space here. This is pretty cool, actually. Like, I like how this is looking. Let's add some candles here as well. That's pretty cool. I like that this is like extended out a bit. It gives us a little bit more room to work with, and I think that's quite fun. And then of course, let's fill in these with things so we can do like a sword, an axe, shovel, pickaxe, and then let's do that. Fill that in. And then let's put probably a flint and steel, probably some shears, probably a bucket. That's probably things that people need. What else do people need? We can also just sell like straight up iron, maybe some bars, like iron bars. So let's put shears here, and then flint and steel, bucket, iron bars. What else? What else do people need? Maybe a shield. Shields are good. Maybe a chain as well. Okay, I think that's good. Chain, and then there you go. Shield. That's pretty large though, isn't that? I don't know if we need to put that down there. We can put something else like, let's see, what else do we have? Oh, charcoal. They can sell charcoal because they make a lot of it. Alright, I think that's a cute little shop area. And this looks pretty good. I feel like this looks like a medieval blacksmith. This feels pretty authentic. This feels practical and stuff. I quite like it. And then we have our little storage. And then we have our little cargo area. This is quite nice. I like it. So just as a summary, I just want to go over the kind of influences that went over like when I was building this. So as you can see here, this is like a like plaster and like a wooden timber building, usually built in the medieval era. We have our timber frame represented by stripped spruce logs. We have our stone brick. We have our calcite for the plaster up top. We have our cobblestone base here, and then we also have our functional things, like we have our storage and cargo area. In here we have our storefront, which is what this little area is, and then in the back here we have our workshop where we actually make everything, and then of course this connects to the storage. And from there, because our blacksmith needs a place to live, We have a little apartment residence up here. This is where the blacksmith lives, and the blacksmith's family, apparently, probably. I don't think the blacksmith would probably live alone, unless you think they would, unless you want to be like a lonely blacksmith. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And we have our stairs going up there, which gave us more room. And we have our roof, and we have our chimney, which has all the smoke coming out, very important. We have our piles of coal, we have our wood, or not coal, let's say it's charcoal. We have our piles of wood here because we need to make this into charcoal. We have our crates and our barrels and all that stuff. We have our big doors to let wagons in. We have our water so we can always refill our cauldron whenever we need to. We have our hearth / forge where we can heat up all our things. Everything in the blacksmith shop revolves around this. Our floor is made of cobblestone so we don't accidentally burn the building down. We have our tools here. We have our blast furnaces, our grindstone, our smithing table, all these things that we need. Our workbench, some iron, chests, shelves and stuff. Pretty cool. I think this turned out very well and I'm happy with how it turned out, and I hope you learned something. I hope you were able to gain something from this video. I know it's not like a typical tutorial. This is kind of more similar to my other videos where I just build something, but I tried to be more educational about it. I'm trying to teach you how to build something. Hopefully I walked through my process enough. If you have any questions, be sure to ask me in the comments. If you have any suggestions for how I could do this video process again, let me know in the comments again. Maybe I might do some videos that are just like explaining how to build something rather than building something, so I can explain certain architectural things and stuff. I did do some research before this video, so if you're curious, I will list my sources in the description if you ever want to learn more. These are very interesting things. I'm very interested in these kind of topics about like architecture and history and all that stuff. It's very fun. So I'm very happy to do things like this. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun YouTube things. I will be posting again soon. I wasn't able to post recently just because of a medical thing, but I'm all better now, so hopefully we'll be seeing some more videos from me. I hope to see you in my next video, and thank you again for watching. Please enjoy the montage. Goodbye!